Hey, what's up everybody? This is Chris with Digital REM, and in this video we're going to continue the introduction to Blender 3D software program. So our last video was for the project header with the file, the edit, the render, and everything else. In this video we're going to go cover the viewport navigation. So we're gonna go ahead and close this and move these to the side here. And you can see, even though I use a shortcut, I really want you to just focus on the actual viewer, and we'll go over these different menus on the side in a second. So here is where you have the editor type. The editor type being, you have all of these different options, so we'll just go through real quick. The general, image editor, UV editor, compositor, texture node editor, shader editor, video sequencer, movie clip editor, dope sheet, timeline. I mean, you can read it. It goes on and on. You can read it yourself. It goes on and on. Again, if you don't know it, right click on it, learn more about it. So, but all of these different windows are actually a different experience or a different viewer that you can see. So like I said, we were going to go over the different these different tabs up here. So as you see, these are different viewers. So this is a 3D viewer, this is the shader viewer, this is like the video editor or video sequencer where you kind of edit things like Final Cut Pro or something like that. You have the timeline where you can set your keys and animations and things like that. But we're going to go ahead and do this, slide this to the top. And that's another thing I want to show you before. I don't even know why I didn't show you, but as you probably noticed, how I created this new window here, and you're probably asking, how did I do that? And the main reason I did that was to show you that you can change these different viewers to be two different things. So you can have the timeline here, you can have the 3D viewer over here, we have the properties over here, and we have the outliner over here. And this is usually how Blender comes with this this setup here with the timeline here. And that's kind of why I brought it back, so it would be as default. If you right click on this or left click on this corner, left click and drag, as you see, it'll split the window into two windows. And you can do that from the bottom and go up, or you go left to right. So you can grab the corner and drag and create a split between and horizontally. It's getting late. I must be getting tired, but anyway, you can do that. But then how to collapse that is, go ahead and grab that corner again and just drag it, and you'll see this arrow pop up over the top and it kind of grays it out, and you just let go and it pops it in. Again, left click drag and let go and pops it in. You can do that left click drag on any corner that you want to. So that's how you create your own layout or your personal layout. Some people like personal layouts for themselves. So we're going to go ahead and continue with the layout. So I showed you how to change the windows and arrange them however you want them to be arranged. But at the top here, right next to help, you have these tabs. So layout is the default layout usually that when you open Blender, it's in a default layout. But you have this tab like modeling layout, this is the Blender's like default page layout for certain tasks. So like modeling, this is what they would suggest for modeling, and it already puts you into edit mode, and it kind of puts you in the mode that you need to be in to do what you're trying to do. You have the sculpting tab where you can, just like clay, you can click and hold and drag, and it'll manipulate the mesh or manipulate the model and create like shapes, and you can just kind of sculpt it just like a piece of clay or something. You can sculpt an object or sculpt a face or sculpt anything pretty much. You have the UV editor tab. We'll go over UVs in a later lesson, but that's essentially allows you to apply materials or apply a texture to object. Texture paint, again, you can paint materials on or paint textures on an object. Shading, this is for applying materials and lighting. Again, this is a more advanced, but we're just trying to give you a good overview of all options you have. But Blender kind of sets it up for you at the top. So if you're doing animation, you have an animations tab, you have a rendering tab, you have a compositing tab, and you have a scripting tab. So you have all of these tabs that are pretty much out of the box made for you to get started, and they're labeled for you. But let's say you have a with the information you know now, with the viewer, setting up a viewer, you have a certain layout. So you want to keep this, you probably want to keep this this timeline at the bottom, so just in case you do any animation, you can pretty much quickly change it. But I'm gonna do one of my layouts that I tend to use often. So I'll split here, and then I'll split it up there, and then I'll turn this one into my UV editor, and then I'll turn this one into my shader editor. And let's say this is how I want to work right now, and I want to save this. Well, next to all of these tabs here, next to scripting, you see this plus sign. Go ahead and click the plus sign. Well, first select the layout that you wanted, and we made that in layout where we did all the screens. Select the plus sign, and then duplicate current. And you can right click. Double left click and rename this like my layout. And now it'll be saved as your layout, so you can go back and change this layout, whatever, back to the default. But when you click my layout, it has your layout set up for you right there. So that's one of the cool features about Blender. You can customize your layout, you can customize your viewer, and do all the things you need to do. In the next video, now that we've showed you how to manipulate the layouts, we're going to go ahead and go into each individual, not each individual, we're going to go more into the 3D viewport, information about the 3D viewport editor type. So that's going more into how to rotate around this object, how to select this object, how to edit this object even, and all of these different options here that all of the header options for each individual editor scene or editor type. So with that being said, each editor type has its own individual header, just like this header up here. It has its own individual header that has its own options. So they have all of these different options in each individual editor type. So right now we're going to go into next we're going to go into the 3D viewer editor type, and we're going to go over how to just navigate around this, and what these this header includes, and how to view your 3D object. And we'll just get right to it. So see you in the next video.